Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the city of Everett continues to have problems with its water plant as officials try to find a solution. And Hindman Elementary School is getting festive this year with a special gift for all its students.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is 5:32 on Wednesday, December 13th. Now let's check in with First Alert meteorologist Shane Smith for a look at your forecast this morning. And Shane, I know that I said that the sky was super clear whenever I was driving in, I guess, tonight, this morning. But I know you mentioned some possible clouds and maybe a chance of cooler weather.
Yeah, we're going to see just a few clouds today, Olivia. We got a weak cold front moving into the region, and so that's going to bring us partly to mostly cloudy skies. And then also, temperature is going to be a couple of degrees cooler than yesterday, but not too much cooler. Let's take a look at what's going on right now. Here's satellite and radar, and you can see a few of those clouds starting to filter in, especially over in the Cumberland Valley and down along the Tennessee and Virginia borders. Our northern counties up near the Mountain Parkway and I-64, we are still clear for the time being. Here's a look at I-75 at Mount Vernon. You can see clear skies there right now. A few clouds starting to show up outside the studio here in Hazard, 32 degrees right now, 36 up in Whitesburg, and that cloud cover is helping to hold that temperature up a little bit there. We're down to 26 in Middlesboro and Manchester. Good morning, Williamsburg and Somerset. You're both checking in at 28. A little bit warmer in Jackson and Pikeville, though, 37 degrees. Both spots this morning, 32 in Moorhead. Factor in the wind. It's feeling just a degree or two cooler in a few spots, but that wind overall is pretty calm this morning. Out the door forecast showing passing clouds and cool temperatures. We should top out today just shy of 50 in most spots, although I think the Cumberland Valley may go low 50s elsewhere, mid to upper 40s, and just a little bit of a wind chill today, not nearly as bad as yesterday. And the forecast remains dry through the remainder of the work week. The weekend forecast, though, has some questions about it. We'll talk about those here in a few minutes, Olivia.
All right, thank you, Shane. More rain this past weekend left several in the city of Everett without water once again, something that Harlan County Judge Executive Dan Mosley says is frustrating for all involved. But as I'm about to explain, they are continuing to work for a long-term solution. The city of Everett's community members have found themselves without water several times, something Harlan County Judge Executive Dan Mosley says has been a frustrating, ongoing issue for the past several years.
The city of Everett's water treatment plant was constructed 30 years ago, and it was a treatment plant that was constructed at that time to treat mine water and well water, and it was never designed to treat river water.
But due to a lack of supply to meet increasing demand.
Over the course of time, that mine source that used to produce literally hundreds of gallons of water a minute has deteriorated and is only producing 30 to 50 gallons per minute.
Leaving officials with the task of finding a solution.
The city of Everett sought out to get an emergency permit to pump from the Clover Fork River. The river source helped to be able to do that. And it all works fine until there is a heavy rain event or there's high water.
However, because the plant was never created to treat muddy water, they have to pull the pumps, not pulling water from the Clover Fork River.
When they get behind on pumping, they only have storage that will last about 7 hours.
Which is why folks lost water during the weekend. However, Mosley says they are continuously working to find long-term solutions.
The city of Everett applied for 2 different grants to get a new water treatment plant. Unfortunately, neither of those grants were funded. The mayor and the city council last week met. They did select a new engineer. Also last week with the Cumberland Valley Area Development District Water Management Council, in the new project rankings for 2024, the Everett's water treatment plant was ranked #1 in priority by the Regional Water Council.
Showing light at the end of the tunnel for a new water plant, aiming to solve this ongoing issue. A new water plant is estimated to cost $7 million, something Judge Executive Mosley says will take time, but they are working as quick as possible to find the funding. In Laurel County, a London man was arrested after police say he was out of control. Monday night, deputies responded to a complaint of a man threatening to cut people at a home off Mitchell Creek Road. 45-year-old Timothy Combs left the scene after seeing deputies. Later, police say Combs elbowed a deputy in the face when he tried to resist arrest. Combs was taken to the Laurel County Correctional Center. A Corbin man is behind bars following a traffic stop. Monday, deputies with Corbin PD pulled 24-year-old Keyshawn Blevins over for multiple traffic offenses. During an investigation, suspected drug paraphernalia and associated drugs were found inside the vehicle. Blevins faces multiple charges and was taken to the Knox County Detention Center. Well, your holiday decor might be to blame for that sniffly nose. With many folks hoping to avoid a sniffly nose, fake Christmas trees are becoming more popular, with the National Wildlife Federation reporting that of those Americans that have trees, more than 75% have artificial ones. Dr. Greisner from Bluegrass Allergy Care says it is not the tree itself that causes the drainage.
Live Christmas trees can be a problem for some people with allergy because not only are you bringing a tree indoors, but at times there's some pollen on the branches and there might even be some mold present too. So if you're allergic to those particular things, you can have a lot of difficulty when you bring that tree in.
Although artificial trees are better for those with allergies, they can have their own problems. Those trees are often stored in areas that might be damp, and as a result, you might get mold present on them, or there could also be dust. 'Tis the season to shop small as storefronts around the region remind shoppers of the power of small businesses. With area entrepreneurs offering hands-on shopping experiences, local officials say there is no better time to support small businesses than the holidays. Last month, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce reported that in 2022, small businesses generated 65% of their annual revenue during the holidays, which impacts more than just the businesses.
It is so important when you do spend locally because the money goes right back into your community. Obviously, it goes back into the business owners, but then that money is reinvested back into your downtown businesses. It's reinvested into your civic organizations, your charity groups, your schools, your churches. So all of that money circulates back into your own community.
For places like Pikeville's downtown stores, community means everything, especially during the time of cheer. Heinemann Elementary School staff have worked to create a festive environment for the students. 2 teachers are working to go beyond the decorations. WYMT's Chandler Wilcox tells us about their mission.
Heinemann Elementary underwent major renovations following the July 2022 flood. Students have returned in classes, but the impact continues.
We still have kids in campers. Still have kids that are living with grandparents, and a lot of them still don't have what they had before the flood.
An idea kept coming to mind. How could they spread Christmas cheer?
God did put it on my heart to get everybody that I could pajamas right after the flood.
Conley proposed the idea to Ann Berge, realizing students could benefit.
Pajamas, is something that symbolizes stability and comfort, and that's something that a lot of us take for granted.
The 2 teachers reached out to community members, then received an overwhelmingly positive response.
We did it with a lot of help, but it was God. And so all of our 121 middle school kids now have a pair of pajamas.
More than $3,000 worth of donations, allowing them to purchase pajama tops and bottoms.
Within 2 days, we had enough to get all of our students the pajama bottoms, and we were happy with that.
In 2 days?
Yes, 2 days. And then within 3 days, we had enough money to get them tops and bottoms.
And students became intrigued.
They're in middle school, so they tried to play it off cool, like, oh, really? And then days later, they're like, when are we getting the pajamas?
They plan to give out the pajamas the day before the Christmas break begins. In Hyman, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
Heinemann Elementary teacher Cassie Amberge also says she plans to start a nonprofit that will serve students and the community in similar ways. When we return, Taylor Swift is giving back to the Tennessee community and helping them rebuild after being hit by deadly tornadoes.
And the dry weather continues across the mountains this morning. Find out how long it'll last after the break.